Hey guys, my name's Bethany and I've developed a 4-week training program for a group of novice basketballers who are adolescent, in the age group of 10 to 20, perfect for high schoolers, and especially those who are wanting to increase their performance. Throughout this 4-week training program, we're going to introduce the students to the basketball skill of dribbling. And we progress this throughout the 4 weeks so that by the end of it, they'll be able to understand the basic concepts of dribbling and will be able to perform it successfully.
The skill of dribbling in basketball is classified as a gross motor skill as it requires large muscles to produce actions utilizing both legs, abdominal and upper body strength. It is also a serial skill as it involves a collection of movements performed in a sequence, and an open skill as it is performed in an environment where other people and objects are in motion. Therefore, as shown in Gentile's multi-dimensional model, dribbling in the context of a basketball game is classified into box 16. This is due to dribbling action requirements, as the body is in motion dribbling the ball with object manipulation, as the ball is in constant movement. Along with this, the environment in which dribbling occurs changes every time with varying defense as well. Students are classified into Fitz and Posner's cognitive stage of development in weeks 1 and 2, as they are refining basic movement patterns and transitioning into the associative stage in weeks 3 and 4. This also aligns with Gentile's 2-stage model for an open skill, where they are developing the basic movement pattern of dribbling. Program learning will occur through visual, auditory, analytic, and kinesthetic styles to accommodate all student learning. This multimodal approach will utilize video feedback, trial and error, music, and testing, incorporating all learning styles. Transfer of learning occurs as the boys have played handball regularly at school. This positive transfer will occur as there are similar coordination control of the ball and movement patterns in order to bounce the ball. Hand-eye coordination and concentration is also positively transferred. The 4-week training program will be implemented through a hands-off, bottom-up approach. A hands-off approach promotes learning through self-exploration and discovery guided by the coach. Therefore, instead of directly instructing the players on how to achieve dribbling, we as a coach shapes movement patterns through the manipulation of key affordances and constraints. A bottom-up approach, also known as an ecological approach to learning, allows us coaches to implement the use of the dynamic systems theory. The dynamic system theory suggests that movement patterns self-organize and develop as a result of the interaction between the individual and the task environment. In order to evaluate the success of this 4-week program and to observe if learning has taken place, a pre- and post-test will occur in order to assess learning through qualitative and quantitative measures. Thus, through repeated observation through video footage, as well as a criteria sheet in which the participants will test themselves and tick the relevant boxes, we will assess if learning has occurred.
In our pre-test, the key elements of dribbling we're looking out for are how frequently our players lose control of the ball, if they have poor body motions, if their eyes are down, if they have no push on the ball, if the ball bounces above their waist, and if they utilise both hands. They will then be marked by the coach, rarely, occasionally or frequently, from a 1 out of 10. In our training program, we use part practice. Part practice is most often used in the early stages of learning a skill so that the demands of the skill don't exceed the player's attentional capacity. So we've used simplification in our learning as we've utilised the method of part practice. We've broken down the skills of dribbling into natural segments. Week 1, we focus on ball awareness. In week 2, we add in movement of the bodies as well. In week 3, we add in ball movement and player movement at the same time in multiple different directions. And in week 4, we add in all of these components together and put it into a game situation. The strategy of part practice is advantageous in the way that it 1. Simplifies the skill, 2. Allows learners to experience early success, leading to increased motivation, and 3. Permits practice on problematic components without wasting any time on those skills already mastered. Attention cues are evident throughout the whole program, directing the attention of our students to the specific areas of their dribbling that they need to focus on. For example, saying the words eyes up or push through allows players to concentrate on the particular task of keeping their eyes up or moving the ball through their fingertips. In week 2, segmentation is utilised through progressive part method, adding components of dribbling with ball awareness, and this continues throughout the weeks. Fractionalisation also occurs in week 2 as we have separated the movements in which our players need to accomplish. They start standing still and dribbling the ball, focusing only on their upper body. Then, in week 3, they are moving with the ball, increasing the movement through the entire body, both legs, arms, and also abdominals. To follow the bottom-up approach in our training program, we get the students to learn throughout their experience and interactions with their task, fellow learners, and environment. For example, instead of telling them exactly how high to bounce the ball, we get them to bounce it at various heights and watch as they self-organise and discover the best height for themselves to control the ball. During our program, we have a lot of partner activities that help the students get used to game situations and one-on-one activities in order to present the students with different affordances. During these activities, we will have games with different task constraints to help them learn from their environment. From this interaction between the learner, the environment, and the task, new muscle movements will appear as they self-organise to meet the activity requirements.
Game situations are incorporated to elicit a specific real-life situation. Motivation is increased in week 4 as students don't want to let their teammates down in the game situations, thus driving them to perform at an increased capacity, increasing their overall motivation.
In order to give the correct feedback to your students, it's important to diagnose errors that might be occurring in their performances. The observation will need to be from the front and the side in order to see if the key elements are being met. This way you can see their eye contact from the front, but the overall bounce movement and height from the side view. There are 2 types of feedback that learners can receive: intrinsic and augmented. Intrinsic feedback is sensory feedback from the learners themselves, and augmented feedback is given from an external source.
Augmented feedback is mainly used through video replay of skill execution as well as the pre- and post-testing results of performance. This is used throughout the 4 weeks. Intrinsic feedback, however, is used at the end of the 4-week session through the players detecting errors themselves. For example, the players in the game situations feel that the ball is bouncing too high. They need to make a conscious effort to lower this height.